For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What's up, guys? This is Felix, and today we're going to try to figure out who would win in a fight. The King of Monsters, Godzilla, versus the 8th wonder of the world, King Kong. Now, before we get into the video, show this new channel some love by hitting that like button. It's completely free. And if you're a fan of the strange like me, follow this channel. I promise you'll like it. Now let's get into today's video. In the red corner, at 390 feet tall and weighing 90,000 tons, representing Skull Island, we have the one and only King Kong. His species was completely wiped out by skull crawlers, making him the last survivor. In almost every version since the original, Kong has always been minding his own business, bothering no one. When a group of humans find Skull Island, see him, capture him, and bring him to New York City against his will, wanting to make a profit out of him, they display him as the 8th wonder of the world. While he's being displayed, he wakes up and he realizes that he's in chains. Obviously scared and confused, he breaks those chains off and he starts to run. While he's running the streets of New York City, he sees the Empire State Building and he starts to climb it. While he's climbing it, these planes start to shoot at him and he starts to smack them down. But eventually, it just becomes too much for him, and Kong falls from the top of the Empire State Building all the way down. I specifically remember that moment. I must have been 4 or 5 years old, and I remember Kong falling off that building and me crying uncontrollably. It was one of the first times that I realized that I had a special connection with monsters, and I've had it ever since. That's what some of the best monsters do. They represent something. And King Kong represents a whole lot. He represents racism, anti-colonist, and America's working class, especially in the 1933 and the 2005 films. In the original movie, a fragile white woman is forced into a marriage with Kong, who represents the wild African who is supposed to be super aggressive and dangerous. Or the other way he is seen in that film, the way I like to see him, is that as a proud indigenous warrior / king who is kidnapped and brought in shackles for the amusement of people, and who understandably rebels and fights them off, even if ultimately he is defeated. In the 2005 movie by Peter Jackson, he is shown with a lot more compassion. It's kind of the same story, but the big difference is that the woman actually feels affection for him. The 2017 Kong is totally different from the other Kongs. Here, he's just a teenager. A lot of people have said that he has no chance against Godzilla, but he's growing and he's growing fast. By the time we see him again, he will be the same size and the same weight as Godzilla. Since he's the last of his kind, he has learned to fend for himself, especially against skull crawlers, who usually hibernate underground. So when a group of soldiers go dropping bombs, waking them up, Kong gets very upset. Even when the biggest and baddest skull crawler wakes up, Kong is able to fight him and defeat him, showing truly how great his fighting skills are. But are his fighting skills good enough to face the King of Monsters himself, Godzilla? Well, let's find out. In the blue corner, weighing 98,000 tons at 400 feet tall from the deep waters of Japan, it's the god of destruction, Godzilla. Godzilla has always been a metaphor for the dangers of nuclear bombs. In the 1954 and the 2014 movie, he was sleeping, or at the very least, minding his own business, when bam, all of a sudden, he is awakened from the atomic nuclear testing from Americans. He wakes up, comes out of the depths of water. The only thing is that Godzilla is not the only monster it awakens. Pretty soon, those other monsters come up as well and start to attack the city. And soon enough, you're rooting for Godzilla to beat the other creatures, and being the king of monsters, he actually does. When Japan audiences saw the movie for the first time, they came out in tears for how close that movie represented the horrors of the atomic bomb that they went through, Hiroshima. The original Godzilla was heavily censored by America. If you were to watch the Japanese version, you were to realize very quickly that Godzilla is a metaphor for the American military. As more Godzilla movies continue to come out, the relationship with Japan and America continued to get better, and pretty soon, Godzilla was not the bad guy anymore, but the protector of Japan against other monsters which represented the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea. Post-war Japan knew that as long as the American military was in Japan, they were protected against these other countries / monsters. Godzilla, the one that will fight King Kong, is big and strong and has fought and already beat a king, King Ghidorah, the three-headed titan, which is no easy task. King Kong and Godzilla are perfectly matched. They've both been to war and they both know how to fight. Both these monsters have had a huge cultural impact on the world. They mean so much to so many people. So just to see them together on the big screen is amazing. Whether one wins or the other loses, monster lovers have been talking about this fight for years. And to see it finally happen is a gift in itself. So may the best monster be crowned. Let me know in the comments who you guys think is going to win and why. I worked very hard on this video, so if you guys could please give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And a big shout out to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing and keep this channel going. And if you guys want to help this channel, please think about joining my Patreon. Anything helps. Thank you guys. Till next time.